Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. I noticed earlier that Craig Houston's returned and posted a very interesting video about the £6.5 million that voters in Scotland have removed from the coffers of the SNP thanks to tactical voting. And I highly recommend anyone watching this video goes across and watches Craig's. It's a very informative, brilliant video, so well done, thanks for that. It's nice to see Craig back after his virus. He'll explain what virus he had within the video. Now, I too, still obviously suffering from my cold, you may be able to tell. So I have a virus. Unfortunately, I won't be able to cure mine with whatever it is that cures you. But having watched Craig's, and this video is not really a sequel to his, but it is a result of watching Craig's. Because he said something interesting in there that I watched, I ruminated on, I thought about. And as I was sort of thinking about it, the idea in my head formed. And I thought, yeah, and that's definitely worth a video, because I want to pass this on. Because I think it's, I think there's been a change. Now, obviously there's been a massive change in terms of MPs. There's no longer, all those powerhouse of SNP MPs. The big upshot initially, of course, will become question time, PM questions and whatever, PMQs. Nobody's going to be calling the SNP anymore. They're no longer the third party. It'll be the Tories will get the first bite, obviously, as the leader of the opposition now will be insert name, whoever it is that emerges, probably Kemi perhaps. And then the third party will be the Lib Dems. So supplementary thirds will go to the Lib Dems. The SNP will get one question every month or something. You won't hear from Stephen Flynn, put it that way. He'll just be a distraction rather than a fixture. I'm going to miss the Penny and Deirdre show. That's a big heartbreak for me. I always enjoyed that on a Thursday, but that's a different matter. Now, what did occur to me, though, is apart from that change of the makeup now only having sort of 9 MPs, is the fact that there is, and I can't do the numbers without looking it up, but certainly well over half the MPs in Scotland now are Labour. And that is very, very important, because that changes everything now for the SNP. They no longer have that ideological impetus. They no longer have that ability to push the differentiation, you see. Because for the last 14 years, and particularly under Sturgeon, it was a big thing, their push was, look, the people of Scotland had voted for the SNP and continue to vote for the SNP. Meanwhile, in Westminster, they have this Tory government. That's not what that's not what the people of Scotland wanted or voted for. And so we have a party that was rejected by the Scots ruling over the Scots. That was their argument. Well, of course, now that argument has gone up in smoke. That argument ceases to exist, because it is quite clear now, with a Labour government at Westminster and over half the MPs, well over half the MPs in Scotland now being Labour, that the Labour government in Westminster exactly is what the people of Scotland voted for, even if it was only a protest vote or a tactical vote or whatever. But the fact remains that if that was repeated at a Westminster election, Holyrood would be a Labour-dominated chamber working with a Labour government at Westminster. And you wouldn't have that, the people of Scotland didn't vote for the Westminster government argument anymore. And this is bad news for the SNP. Because what else have they got? They haven't got that argument. They can't argue that they've done great things for Scotland, because one only has to look around, use your eyes, and see. And they haven't got the argument now that, Yes, but the people of Scotland want the SNP in charge because it's quite clear they don't. The SNP are finished, aren't they? I mean, and you tie up that loss with the financial losses, and I think it's sayonara, you know? It's good night Vienna. And it won't become, before time. This will absolutely bankrupt them financially. But I think it also bankrupts them politically. Because if half the people who supported the SNP were only doing so because they disliked the Tories in London, well, the Tories have gone. And so those people who were supporting the SNP because they didn't like the Tories, well, they're like, well, we've got rid of the Tories now. Don't really need to support the SNP anymore. I'll go and support Labour or the Lib Dems or insert whoever. Doesn't matter. And so support for the SNP now will drop. Their membership, I guarantee, will fall. Now, as Craig again pointed out, it's tomorrow, I think is the 7th of July. So sometime in the next few days, their accounts have to be published with the Electoral Commission, which means a few days after that, they get published to the public. We all get to see these numbers. And I suspect that these numbers are not going to be good. In terms of membership numbers, you can guarantee they're falling. And we know that they don't have much by way of bequests anymore. There's not much gifting. And certainly there are little or few or even none in terms of corporate sponsorships. And with everything else, they're in a big black hole. So no money, no support, falling membership, and their very reason for existing removed because now so few people are willing to vote for independence. As we've seen, they want to vote for Labour. Where do they go? Don't care. Really, don't care. They can go anywhere they like. They're finished. They're done. And the sooner, the better. And it will be spectacular when it goes. And it will leave a massive vacuum at the heart of Holyrood. Because if the party folds, it means every SNP, MSP becomes an independent member. Therefore, they won't be the biggest party. And I think currently the Tories would be the biggest party. It would be the Tories who'd be invited to form the next government. Weird, isn't it? Can't wait. Spectacular. Anyway, as I say, thanks for watching this one. Hit like, hit subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and go across and see Craig's video as well. His virus has improved, but unlike mine. Anyway, thanks a lot. Bye.